welcome back to Flowers, the Summertime Volume. The last time we were together, well, I guess everybody got together and decided to throw Molotov cocktails at each other, but only those Molotov cocktails explode and then you have to participate in some kind of recital, so that's good. And since we're dealing with an especially outgoing girl like Erika Yaigaki, one can only guess that she's absolutely enthused at the idea of having to perform in front of a large group of people. So let's go ahead and get that on the road, get that on the way for her. What do you say? Let's go ahead and, I don't know, just rip the bandage off, get it over with. What's the worst that could happen? After class, I murdered everybody. You're telling me! As I let the red-faced Shirahane's scolding wash over me, Takasaki, who is pushing along my wheelchair, taps me on the head. I offer her an apology of my own. Well, this is a nice little change of pace. It seems like everybody's, we're getting along. We're having little buddy moments here. Ooh. There you go. Food is always the perfect social lubricant, and food also makes for good apologies. She agrees to my offer after thinking it over for a moment, and I nod. Then she reminds me that if I try and pull anything else, it'll be open war again. Shirahane is no doubt pleased to see me put on the spot too. Clutching her book to her chest, Shirahane finally comes out with something besides words of rebuke. We've met intimidating people, like I think Yatsushiro counts as being very, very intimidating, but I don't think we've met anybody outright scary yet, so you're probably fine. But then again, it's Suo, so, literally the quietest person in the room could probably still scare her. That's a good point. Noticing her deflate slightly at my teasing, Shirahane tugs lightly at Takasaki's sleeve. Oh, look at her jump in and immediately trying to smooth that over. Suo is literally the sweetheart of sweethearts. Jesus Christ, she's too pure for this world. She smiles slightly, not entirely displeased by the looks of things. I don't think her cheeks are flushed simply because of the heat. That was a really forceful nandemonai. The chapel is adjacent to the old school building. I gaze up at the stately building as the heavy doors come into view. I drive away the specter of a certain hyper-upperclassman I've recently had the misfortune of running into a lot and ask Shirahane to open the door. Whoever could she mean? I had to grab my phone and turn some shit off. Shirahane makes a questioning noise, and I brush it away, shaking my head. Then, I know who's here. The upperclassman who had been talking with Sister Basquiat comes trotting over to us like a cute little dachshund. She's our script writer. She's our scribe. She's our Violet Evergarden. She understands at once, so she's probably heard how a previous group performed their own version of a fairy tale.
2年生はコミカド先輩が読み手か。豪華な朗読劇になりそうだ。
ありがとう。白羽さんが脚本なら、読み手は八重垣さんと高崎さんが。
よろしくお願いします。まあ、なっちまったものは仕方がないんで、恥をかかない程度には。
I'll do my best not to be a complete ass. I smile and Komikado Senpai giggles elegantly, apparently under the assumption that I'm joking. Takasaki gives me a cold look.
朗読劇ですが、コミカド先輩は何を読まれるのですか？
私はまだ決めていないの。八重垣さんたちは？
いや。
Our gazes naturally converge on our scriptwriter. My bookworm buddy blushes. Flustered, she holds out the book she's been hugging.
脚本を書くのだから、私なりに何にしようか考えてきた。それは童話
Komikado Senpai makes a guess based on the cover, and Shirahane nods enthusiastically. She opens it to a page she must have bookmarked and shows it to Komikado Senpai. Rapunzel.
これは髪長姫の話ね。
She follows this with a mention of Grimm's fairy tales, and I nod in recognition too. Then,
あ、髪長姫って何？
you know, like the law with the long hair, short skirt, long jacket. I instinctively have the urge to tease her, but
声を潜めるってことは、黙って教えてほしいってことだろうしな。
she don't want to be embarrassed.
ラプンツェルだよ。ほら、あれって塔の上から髪をロープ代わりにするくらい長かったろ。
When I say this, it's like a light bulb goes off in her head. She gives me a vigorous nod and then a few more for good measure.
そうか、そうね。言われてみればそうだわ。あなた物知りなのね。伊達に承知じゃないからな。
I ain't no damn poser. Erika is the true scene kid of book reading. I'm not used to having people compliment me to my face, and I turn away in
あ
embarrassment.
りがとう。
I carry on, pretending I didn't hear her whispered thanks.
ラプンツェル、いいと思うわ。これならみんなも知っていますしね。
なぜみんなが知っているといいのです？原本をアレンジするって言っただろ。もともと筋を知らなきゃアレンジしたところも伝わらない。笑いどころがわからなきゃ聞く側も混乱するってこと。
She scratches an eyebrow, satisfied with my explanation. Komikado Senpai hands me the book, which I've been trying to peer across at. I scan over the text.
ああ、そうか。グリム童話の原本ってこういう感じだったよな。何？私にも見せて。18歳未満には渡せないな。
Despite my words, I let her grab it from me. I watch Takasaki from the corner of my eye as she reads through it with a serious look on her face. I then turn to Shirahane, whose brows are furrowed anxiously.
ま、きつい表現はアレンジするだろうから問題ないんじゃないか。物語の長さ的にも聞き手側が飽きないくらいだしな。
Sister Basquiat places a hand on Shirahane's shoulder and clasps her hands together in relief.
でもラプンツェルって役が夫婦、魔女、王子、ラプンツェルの5人必要だろ。私たち2人しかいないんだし、どう振り分けるんだよ。
夫婦役は字の文と一緒に私がやろうと思っているの。もう一人は
Her troubled gaze lands on Sister Basquiat. Sensing what it is she's being asked, Sister Basquiat flaps her hands in front of her chest like a little girl.
私は無理よ。教職者は
Oh,
参加できない
come on.
生徒でないと。
It'd be fun! You want to join? I can see it in your eyes. From the side, Komikado-senpai quietly raises her hand, her cheeks flushed.
私もご一緒するというのはダメかしら。
We'd be happy to have you.
コミカド先輩が？ええ、読み手に選ばれてから2回への会の記録を調べたのですけど、1年生と2年生合同での朗読劇の記録もありましたし。
Way you go, we're not breaking some ancient taboo. We're not gonna upset the gods of literature recitation, so that's one mystery we won't have to solve.
私としてもみんなでやった方が楽しいと思うな。
Sister Basquiat is nodding very vigorously in agreement with Komikado-senpai's proposal.
そうね。合同で行ったことも幾度かありますし、問題はないわ。ただ合同となると少しお話を
You have to make the story longer. She looks at us as though to ask if this will be okay. When she sees Shirahane nod, she smiles.
八重垣さん、高崎さんはどう？いいかしら。
こっちは構わない。
ええ。それではよろしくね。
Takasaki looks a little bewildered when Komikado-senpai bows her head to us. Shirahane opens the book she's reclaimed from Takasaki and massages between her brows.
配役については夫婦役は私がやるとして、魔女と王子、そしてラプンツェルだけど。それなら初めに読み手として決まったのは八重垣さんだから、主役は八重垣さんにすると思うわ。
Perfect!
私がラプンツェル役ですか。
I instinctively want to stick my tongue out with a but logically, that leaves the witch and the prince. Both roles seem like they'd require a decent amount of acting talent and practice.
いいけどさ。
珍しいわね。
Swallow the bitter taste of attention.
いいんだよ。それでお前は魔女と王子どっちの役がやりたいんだ？
私は
Looking rather dangerous, she narrows her eyes and considers the choice carefully.
あなたは私にどちらの役を選んでもらいたいの？
She asks my opinion, still with that scary look on her face. Go with the prince. We're gonna get closer, me and you. We're gonna do this.
どちらかといえば王子役なんじゃないか。
Get a head start on this Amitie thing. It's definitely give us the boost we need to be on good terms with one another in the recitation of something that will require two people to be close together. Surely this will bring us together. We're already doing so well at it.
私が王子役。
I'm a little puzzled to find her smiling somewhat happily at that.
髪の長さ的にお前だろう。コミカド先輩が王子じゃ髪が長すぎてなんか柄じゃないしな。
そう。髪の長さからなの。
Well, if we're basing it on hair length. And now she's looking sad. I don't get the sudden 180. I do. She's a little disheartened. She thought you picked her because, you know, maybe she's softening up a little bit. Maybe she's a little more open to the idea of, you know, being a little closer. In any case.
役を決めるってのなら朗読劇なんだ。一番手っ取り早い方法があるだろう。
I make a sudden declaration.
役を決めるなら？
In response to my bookworm buddy's question, I point to the book she's holding.
二人で王子役をやってみたらいい。魔女は老婆とはいえ女だけど、王子は男だろう。声を作らなくちゃいけないんだから、とりあえず二人の声を聞いてみないとじゃないか。
Shirahane nods at my observation.
確かにそうね。お願いできますか？コミカド先輩、高崎さん。
They look a bit awkward, but both nod. I pick out a section from the book and ask them to read it aloud. Komikado-senpai goes first.
ねえラプンツェル。
Oh,
この塔から抜け出し、
okay.
外の世界へ行こう。二人で旅立てばどんなに愉快だろう。
put a little husk in there. Okay, I dig it. Everyone is dumbfounded when Kamikato-senpai takes the book in hand and speaks the lines confidently without a trace of her previous bashfulness.
どうかしら。
That was pretty good, not gonna lie.
素晴らしいです。
Back to being shy again, she passes the book to Takasaki.
一発頼むぜ。
She ignores me and takes a couple of steps forward, and then, with the book in one hand, she furrows her brow a little uneasily.
ねえラプンツェル、この塔から抜け出し外の世界へ行こう。二人で旅立てばどんなに愉快だろう。
Not quite. After she's finished, her cheeks redden gradually.
魔女役が決まったな。
That settles that. My voice echoes cruelly through the chapel. Damn! That's a real good note to end that part on. Jeez. I knew that we'd have to practice for the recitation, but since we decided on doing our own version of the story of Rapunzel from Grimm's Fairy Tales, I didn't think we'd be on the hook for it until the script was actually ready. Until then, however, all of our time has been put aside to learn the fundamentals of recitation under Sister Basquiat. At first, I was sure we could have left it until after the script was done, but...
さあ、コミカドさん、読んでみて。お母さん、今帰ったよ。具合大丈夫なの？
Kamikato-senpai is playing the role of Giovanni in Night in the Galactic Railroad.
ジョバンニ、今日は涼しくてね。私はずっと具合がいいよ。
Takasaki is playing the role of his sick mother.
すいません、一度止めましょう。
Sister Basquiat has us jot down notes on our scripts indicating intonation, stress, where to take pauses, and so on. The annotated script then serves as a kind of sheet music. It's like a blueprint with symbols denoting stresses, pauses, changes in perspective, and points of greater emphasis on the script. Man, doing so much theater in high school. I had so many marked up scripts, and it was just kind of crazy. I actually still have a few of them in storage. That shit was fun. Perhaps it is best to think of it as akin to the music an orchestra has to read from.
八重垣さんも聞いているだけではなく耳で稽古をしてくださいね。
わかりました。
There's a lot for us to practice even without our
真っ
script.
赤で何が何だかわからないな。
Even though I'm the one writing notes, my script has ended up covered in red lines and circles. Right now, we're on the third chapter set in Giovanni's house, and Giovanni himself and his mother. I don't even appear in this scene. Sister Basquiat is pointing to a passage in Kamikato-senpai's script and talking about how we should inject emotion into our lines. And how, when there's a need for emphasis, we have to pour our feelings we want to express. We have to pour the feelings we want to express into our words. She's really quite zealous.
思った以上に大変ね。
You're in show business. I feel like if anybody should be used to this, it's you.
ああ、朗読なんてただ音読すればいいだけだと思ってたんだけどな。
We both stand back and watch Sister Basquiat's enthusiastic lecturing for a moment.
こんなに繰り返し一つの小説を読むのなんて初めてだわ。私だって間を置かず何度も繰り返し読むってのは久しぶりだよ。親父のお宝本以来だ。
Continuing in this jokey manner, we keep up with our training until the script is finally finished, which ends up being 4 days after we start practicing.
そこの美しい人。
Yes. Since the choir club is using the chapel, our first run through together takes place in an empty classroom after class.
君に会いに来たんだ。こっ そりと城を抜けてきた。
Listening to her sonorous tone, you can almost see the figure of the handsome prince in her place. I feel like Yuzuriha would have been like the best choice for this.
かわいいお前が野蛮な外界の人間にさらわれでもしたらどうするというの。
And then there's Takasaki.
いい子だ。分かったのなら決して塔の外には出てはいけないよ。
That's a pretty good witch voice. The witch in Shirahane's version of the tale looks like a young woman. So, although she has an old-fashioned way of speaking, there's no need for Takasaki to put on a voice, which is a relief. She's still putting on like a bit of a voice, though.
では次は八重垣さん。
Sister Basquiat urges me to read.
おばさま。
分かってくれたかいラプンツェル。
そうね。心配させてごめんなさい。おばさまの言う通りだわ。
That's a really cute voice she's putting on right now.
そこまで。
I know.
どうしたの八重垣さん。一人で音読しているときは上手にできるのに。なんででしょうね。
Sister Basquiat is looking at me with a troubled expression, but I know exactly why I'm unable to do it now.
こんな言葉がこんなになれない。
Yeah, I had a feeling it had something to do with her, like, throwing on a girly voice when, you know, maybe doesn't always feel the girliest of the girly girls herself. I get you. Usually I speak in a far more masculine manner. However, the Rapunzel in Shirahane's script has an archaic style of speech fit for a princess. I'm not at all suited to it. Plus...
八重垣さん、もう少しだけラプンツェルになったつもりで話せないかしら。
努力しているつもりなの。
そう。まだ
Well,
初
it
日ですものね。
sucks, but I think we can get you there. She clasps her hands in front of her chest and smiles. However...
しっかりやりなさい。
Damn!
主役なのでしょ。
Get your shit together. Jesus Christ, it's just reading words.
分かってるよ。
And I do know. I struggle to empathize with other people's feelings. I know that. But can a person who throws up walls between themselves and others ever really put themselves in someone else's shoes, even if it's just a character in a novel? Maybe there's a lesson for you to learn here, Ms. Yaigaki.
こいつは参ったな。
あ、八重垣ちゃん。
How's it going?
早く行かないと次のバレエの授業遅れちゃうよ。ええ、分かっていますわ。
Oh, Jesus.
あ、でも八重垣ちゃんはレオタードに着替えないから。え？どうしましたの？いちごさん。
So it's like immersion. Just immerse yourself. Never get out of character. This is immersion learning. It's a simple question, but she leaps backwards as though confronted by some ferocious carnivorous beast.
八重垣ちゃんが壊れた。
She's shocked.
早く行きましょう。ほら、リンゴさんもご一緒に。
This is too much.
これは新たな七不思議の匂いがしてきたですよ。はい。乗り移られるタイプの怪異。まさか一番警戒心がありそうな八重垣ちゃんが。何をおっしゃっているのか。
I love that she's just still going, and on the inside, I can just imagine that temperature gauge is just spiking.
そうだよ。まずいよ。これって高い熱出てるよ絶
No,
対。
I mean, she's burning up inside, but I don't think it's got much to do with a fever. Before I have time to do anything, she's pressing her own forehead against mine to check for a fever. Oh, she's losing it.
熱なんかあるか
I knew she was about to fucking lose it. She angry. Let's get another read on that. It's a real good line.
熱なんかあるか熱なんかあるか
Love it. It's like even the mic's just blowing out there.
熱なんかあるか
That's really good. Of course.
普段から女言葉になれればなんとかなるかと思ったけれど
Well, you've only got like maybe you're overdoing it a little. Maybe less speak like a character and more just, you know, listen to how somebody like Ichigo or Ringo talks and just kind of emulate that. Maybe don't, you know, throw around the old manner of speaking with it. You know.
辛いことがあったら相談してほしい。
Aw, because she's your best friend.
あ
I can't be something I'm not. No, don't think that. I heave a long sigh as the stubborn Sasaki continues to pester me. Oh. The practice sessions continue with me still unable to get into character.
どうしてもラプンツェルの気持ちがつかめない
I complained to Sister Basquiat. I've voiced my concerns, but... Oh, whoa, whoa. Hey there. It's I don't know, man. I would not... Trying to stay calm in a situation like this with Sister Basquiat there kind of just got an arm around you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know I could do that. I don't know how calm I could remain in that situation. I don't know. I think that's just like turn into a puddle of goo territory. Sister Basquiat is standing incredibly close. She's practically nestled up against me, so she too can read over my script.
今日も君に会いに来たよ夜の帳を越えて
Man, she's good too. She gazes at me, murmuring her lines in a masculine tone. I feel a strange shiver run not just down my spine, but through my entire body. It's not an unpleasant sensation. In fact, it's quite nice.
嬉しいわ。あなたを待っていたのよ。
I whisper timidly. The sound seems to come not from my own mouth, but from that of a fragile maiden.
ラプンツェル今日はどんなお話が聞きたいんだい
I can smell that sweet scent particular to adult women coming from her, her body pressed so close to mine that I can feel her heat. But the words she's murmuring are those of a man. The contradiction has thrown me off completely, and when I try to read the script, the words seem to swim on the page.
落ち着いて
Easy for you to say! Sister Basquiat whispers in my ear, her voice back to its usual tone.
今のところちゃんとラプンツェルができているわ演劇風にしたのは正解だったわね
Right. When I'd voiced my complaints to Sister Basquiat, she'd suggested putting a hold on the group readings and holding individual sessions, so we've been doing that for a while. However...
演劇風にやったらどうかって言ったのは私だけどこいつは
Even though I got Sister Basquiat to play the part of the prince,
先生がこんなに乗りやすい人だったなんてそろそろ落ち着いたようね続けますよあはい
completely engrossed in her role as the prince, Sister Basquiat draws even closer to me, wrapping her arm around my waist and gazing fervently into my eyes.
ねえラプンツェル
Make
君
her
はここ
feel
から
it.
出た方がいい
なぜ？
君も世界が知りたいと言っていたじゃないかこんなところでは息が詰まってしまうだろう
I see the face of her prince, arguing his case with passion.
それはきっと楽しいでしょうね。見たことのない新しい出来事が満ち溢れて。
なら行こう私と共にたくさんの街を巡りそして城で暮らそう
I suddenly have a vision of Shirahane, who, of course, wrote the script. She herself is trapped in a prison of her own. and the one trying to break her free is...
私はおばさまを置いてはいけないわ。きっとおばさまは
her tireless protector, determined to keep her from harm even as she's unable to break free. That's...
悩むのもいい。だが、考えていてほしいんだ、ラプンツェル。
Subtext. I've learned that in recitation, it's important to read between the lines as well. I'm pretty sure that after this line, there's a kiss. Sister Basquiat's lips are suddenly bearing down on mine, and hot blood rushes to my face.
先生。
よかった。ちゃんと役をつかめたよ。
Damn.
はい。
心ここにあらずといった風でしたよ。それほど役に入れたのなら、もう問題ありませんね。
She's still incredibly close to me, and I nod silently, lacking the spirit to make my usual jokes. Perhaps noticing this, Sister Basquiat breaks into a smile and addresses me in a kindly tone.
ねえ、八重垣さん。なぜ赤ちゃんの声が大きく誰にでも届くかわかる？
いえ。
それはね、伝えたいという気持ちが純粋だからよ。だから喋れない分、その言葉を泣き声にして響かせるの。
It's a nice thought, all the same.
浜の弱な私には無理な理論ですね。
いいえ、最後のラプンツェルの言葉。その声には誰かがいたわ。その人を思い話せばきっと伝わる。
The script that she wrote,
頑張って彼女になりきってみます。
It's an unfamiliar style of speech. I was sure I'd never be able to inhabit this character. But my heart is perfectly clear as I gaze into Sister Basquiat's smiling face and make my declaration. Moving along, making progress. Look at you. Perhaps our private rehearsal was more help than I expected as I quickly improve at my reading of Rapunzel's part.
すごく上手だって聞いているわ。朗読劇楽しみにしているわよ。
任せておけって。朗読劇では度肝を抜いてやれよ。
I have no doubts whatsoever. I've improved enough that I'm now able to make light of the whole thing. I can't quite give up my day job, but I'm no longer so terrible that I drag down Komikado Senpai and Takasaki.
本当に楽しみだわ。
She pours some cold brew tea into my empty cup. I've joined the president's after-class tea party during the time that I have before our rehearsal starts, although I'd have done an about turn if she were serving hot tea in this sweltering summer weather.
前は変な女言葉になってたもんね。今はもう平気なんでしょ？ええ、心配をかけてしまったわね、いちごさん。どうしたの？私何かおかしなことを言ってしまった。なんだろう、役だって分かっているのに背景が歪むような違和感があるね。ですがしっかりとお姫様言葉になっていますし、しあさっての朗読劇楽しみですよ。
It seems that the recitation will be held in front of a gathering of students is being referred to as a nighttime reading.
そういえば朗読劇のこと朗読やわって言ってたけど、どこで朗読するの？もしかして寮とか？なんで寮なんだよ。
Well, where else are you at night?
だって部活動が終わって原則6時には寮に戻ってなきゃでしょ。だからやわって言うくらいだから遅い時間だろうし。
そういえばそうね。聞いてる？八重垣さん。
いや、ずっと聖堂で練習してるからそこでやるんだと思ってたよ。聖火の合唱での際も どう反響するか考えて楽器や歌での調節をするらしいですしね。
Right. I figured I figured that was part of the reason why we were practicing in the chapel. The younger Sasaki finishes speaking, then takes a bite of grape jello. It has chunks of fruit in it.
そっちのブドウゼリーも美味しそうだな。
八重垣ちゃんのリンゴゼリーも美味しそうです。交換っこしますか？
I nod, then take a spoonful of hers. The cold grape jello is very soft, melting in my mouth. The round little Delaware grape I've scooped up with it is delicious too.
また共食いをしてしまいました。
Dang. Looks like I've fallen back into cannibalism. Hey, look, some habits are hard to break.
ゴミカド先輩がいたらまた笑いのツボにはまりそうだな。
コミカド先輩と言ったら八重垣さんはゆっくりしてていいの？練習があるんじゃないの？
白羽はもう向かったのか？
だいぶ前に出て行ったわよ。
真面目なあいつらしいな。15分前行動ってやつかね。
That's what it pays to be. That's me. I'm typically always 15 minutes early for, like, literally everything. I pull out the pocket watch I keep lodged beneath my butt and check the time. It's almost time for rehearsal to start.
15分前行動ならそろそろ始まるんじゃないの？
Oops! I give the concerned president a noise of affirmation and slurp down my remaining jello and gulp down the chilled tea.
それじゃそろそろ出勤してくるよ。
With that, I hand my cup to the president and put my hands on the wheel rims of my chair. I sense an air of discontent in the room. It's really tense, as though someone's wrongdoing is about to be called out, or some secret that someone didn't want made public is about to be revealed. And the moment I see their faces, Narine Komikado, Chidori Takasaki, and Suo Shirahane, the air of the chapel grows even heavier. Or rather, I feel my chest suddenly tighten. I can tell that something bad has happened.
どうした？浮かない顔
Who
してるじゃん
died?
か。もしかして重い日か？悪いがポーチを持ち歩いてないから貸せないぜ。
Just trying to avoid it. Hoping that it's nothing terrible. Just like, maybe if I joke about it, it'll make the bad go away. I try mimicking our glib, silver-haired senior, but it falls flat. Seems like it takes a certain amount of skill to elicit a smile with lowbrow lines like that.
で、マジでどうしたんだ？暗い顔をしてないで説明してほしいんだが。台本をなくしたそうよ。
The scripts! The fuck are the scripts going for? What'd you do with them?
は？朗読譜をなくしたと言っているの。
Why didn't we keep those on us, like in our rooms or something? That feels like something you would probably want to do.
ごめんなさい。
Look, this is something that I always did anytime I had a theater production. We kept our scripts on us. Shirahane's voice trembles. Her head is bowed. Komikado-senpai strokes her back comfortingly. Still not understanding what's going on, I question my amitié partner again.
昨日手直しするから白羽さんへ台本を渡したでしょ。
Takasaki runs through the course of events. Yesterday, after our usual evening rehearsal, Shirahane had said she wanted to change some of the lines and the flow of the narrative a little. It was only a small revision, so everyone had agreed. After we'd all handed our annotated scripts over to Shirahane, after practicing from memory for a bit, we left Shirahane, who was staring intently down at the scripts, and returned to our rooms. Then... Boy, this girl just is not going to catch a break ever, is she? Tears are welling up in Shirahane's eyes. Komikado-senpai consoles her, continuing to gently stroke her back.
で、昨日自分の台本に書き込みをして納得のいく脚本になって意気揚々と部屋に戻った後、自分以外の台本を聖堂へ置き忘れたことに気づいたってわけか。
It's an error that Shirahane would never usually make.
一
However,
つのことに集中すると周りが見えなくなる嫌いがあるものな。
I'm well aware of my bookworm buddy's immense powers of concentration, but they can also be a drawback.
それで聖堂内に置き忘れたならここにあるだろう。探せば。いや、当然探したのか。
自室に戻り、思い出してすぐここへ取って返したらしいの。でもすでになくなっていたそうよ。
Apparently, they've already checked multiple times to see if they'd been handed in or lost at the lost and found.
私なんて謝ったらいい？
We can get the scripts again. Are those literally the only copies we had? Did we not like have a master copy that we kept somewhere that we could easily just like make the changes to?
いいのよ。台本は白羽さんのものを複製すれば問題ないわ。
ええ、そうね。白羽さんの言う通り、問題ないというわけにはいかないわ。
Takasaki's eyebrows draw together as Komikado-senpai cocks her head at her, but she goes on.
各自台本は各々自分のセリフや字の文の注意すべき箇所、そしてどんな感情を抱き朗読するのかを朗読譜に書き込んでいますよね。ただ新しく直した筋は一緒だからと白羽さんの台本を複製すればいいという問題ではありません。
She's right. From the moment I received my script, I've been covering it with notes to make it my own. Which is exactly why Shirahane is so upset about the fact that they've been lost.
なくした台本は手直しで渡すために置いておいた椅子の位置から移動させてなかったのか。
I turn away from the chancel and head towards the two wooden pews at the front on the right-hand side.
八重垣さん。
The scripts that had been stacked on them the other day are no longer there, of course. I stare intently at the place where we'd left them, then smile my cat-like
何
smile.
を笑っているのよ。こいつは紛失事故じゃない。あ？誰か悪意を持ったやつが故意に盗んだって。
Oh, is that what we're going with? Who would steal them and why? Is somebody jealous that we're gonna put on a bitchin' rendition of Rapunzel? My voice echoes through the quiet chapel. After a moment of silence, my words sink in and the mood turns tense.
そんな犯人なんてただ遺失物に気づいた方が拾ってくれただけでしょ。
遺失物が届いてないか何度も確認したと白羽は言っていましたよ。
それは。
She starts to argue back, but then falls silent.
朗読劇が行われるのは学院内で承知の事実だ。たとえ誰かが拾っていたとしても今の今まで届けないのは考えづらい。聖堂内で落とし物に気づいたのなら学者に戻らなくとも寮に戻った際に届けるわね。
Right. If they weren't able to hand them in at the school staff room, then the most natural move would be to pass them on to the dorm mother. And since that hasn't happened...
でもなんでそんなことを。台本を隠すなんて何の得にもならないでしょうに。
I wonder if Shirahane is thinking back on that incident where a huge fuss was made over the disappearance of some books, which there was similarly little to gain. She stares at me with a complicated expression.
本の紛失なら任せておけ。私なら隠すのも見つけ出すのもお手の
Of
物
course!
だ。
Don't worry. Investigation team! Getting the band back together. And the band is Erika Yaigaki. I bare my canines in a feline smile and declare that I'll take my pent-up stress from this recitation business out on the thief. Boom, boom.
それで
My Amitié partner asks me what we're gonna do next. When Sister Basquiat arrived for our session, we sent her away, telling her that we'd be doing individual practices today so that the script could be altered. Then I'd ordered Komikado, Senpai, and Shirahane to check again whether anything had been handed in at the teacher's lounge or the dormitory.
古来からこういう時は現場百遍と決まっているんだよ。以前にも同じ言葉を聞いたわね。あの時はお前が真犯人だったかな。
Perhaps it's more of a sensitive topic than I'd thought, as she doesn't make any retort. No, actually, my eccentric amitié partner is ignoring me completely as she proceeds in casting her gaze over the chapel.
なぜバスキア教諭へ黙っていることにしたの？
Moving my chair in the direction of the chancel, I address her question.
あの時は悪意を持った者が故意に盗んだと言ったけどな。違った場合を考えたんだよ。善意で預かっているということ？そうだ。もしそうだったらバスキア教諭に話して大ごとになったらかわいそうだろ。だから遺失物を聞いてくる時にも盗まれたことは言うなって付け加えたわけ。
I answer in the affirmative and continue methodically inspecting every nook and cranny of each pew, but feeling her cool gaze on me, I can't help but break into a grin.
ま、それは表向きってことだ。実際は騒ぎにせず、確実に弱みを握りたいってことだよ。やっぱり悪趣味ね。ここであと2年と少しは奉公しなくちゃならない。生きやすくするために。
Positive bonding. Good character building. Takasaki sighs sadly. Maybe she believes me. It's best she doesn't realize my true intentions.
で、今は何をやっているの？白羽が見逃してないかを調べてるのさ。こっちに来て手伝えよ。稽古時間の間だけよ。
I instruct Takasaki to look around underneath the pews.
こいつじゃかがめないからな。倒れ込んだらどうしようもないものね。
Yeah, that'd be kind of a bummer. Takasaki shrugs and crouches
そ
down.
れで、これに何の意味があるの？椅子と床に少しの隙間はあるけど、台本が差し込まれるほどは空いていないわよ。意味はあるさ。這いつくばるお前が見られるのと。
You dirty old man! You dirty, dirty old man!
ふざけているならやめるわよ。
She gets to her feet and glares at me, her almond eyes narrowing. I spread my arms wide and reassure her that it was just a joke.
白羽はこの聖堂を探したとは言っていたが、下校時刻を過ぎて校則違反を犯して探しに来ていた。美に入り才に入りとはいかないだろ。だからそうだな、右側の2列目と3列目の箇所を重点的に調べてくれ。
She shoots me a fairly icy look, but being straightforward with her seems to have worked, and as she now looks to be searching properly.
何を見つけた？
She looks up from an area a little away from where the scripts had been left. Caught between her fingers is a small scrap of paper.
これはメモ帳の紙片ね。
Saint Joseph, 3 books. She hands it to me, and I give it a close stare. In a large, hurried scrawl is written Saint Joseph. Below that, 3 books. And then finally, an arrow pointing downward.
これどういう意味かしら？
Saint Joseph, these nuts! That's why it's pointing down.
さてね、ピザ屋の注文ってわけじゃなさそうだ。
I think I might get pizza tomorrow, now that I think about it. I stare at the scrap of paper, secretly quite surprised at this unexpected discovery. Takasaki is gazing at it intently.
これって合唱部の人のじゃないの？どうしてそう思う？この本というのは譜面のことじゃない？譜面を1冊2冊と呼ぶこともあるでしょ？だから本と書いた。この聖ヨゼフってのは？それはわからないけれど、聖歌の中で。
Well, I think it's clear that the 3 books probably refers to the scripts, and maybe the maybe this isn't as nefarious as we're thinking. Maybe someone's just like, hey, I found these 3 books. I don't know what the fuck St. Joseph has to do with anything. I don't think that Rapunzel has anything to do with St. Joseph at all, but here we are.
だからこれはメモ帳を1枚破って譜面本を3つ置いておいたわと伝えるためにあったものじゃないの？
The choir club usually used the chapel for their activities, so this train of thought is perfectly natural. However,
私はそう思わない。
どうしてよ？
この2週間近く合唱部のみんなには悪いが、放課後この聖堂は私たちが朗読の稽古に使っていた。もし昼休みの合間に熱心な部員が練習に使っていて、このメモを残したとしても。
choristers. I don't know that I've ever heard that word. I don't know that I've ever seen that word written out, but I like the way it sounds. Choristers.
放課後こいつが椅子の上に置かれていたのなら、私たちの誰かが見つけていただろうよ。
でも私たちの練習以前に書かれていたもので、風に飛ばされて椅子の下の隙間に挟まっていたということは？
その可能性もある。だが私はメモ帳に書かれていた個数が気になるんだよ。
She parrots my question back to me and I go on.
お前も言っていたが、この本が譜面だったら3枚もしくは3冊って書かないか？お前は合唱部員が書いたものだと言ったが、それだと個数に疑問符が出てくる。なぜ普段譜面を扱っている部員が3つと書いたのか？
That's a good question.
私は本は
Yeah, the books definitely refers to the scripts.
だから3つと書いたんじゃないかってね。
And from the scrawled handwriting, you can tell that the note was written in a hurry. If it was someone used to recitations and stuff, they'd probably have written scripts, but they weren't able to come up with the right term on the fly, so they hurriedly put it down as books.
私はこのメモ帳のページは台本を持っていった者が置いていったものだと思う。そしてこいつは我々に向けた挑戦だと。
誰がどうしてそんな真似をするの？
それはそいつに聞いてくれよ。ただこいつは何かを意味し指しているのだけは確かだ。順当に考えれば宝の地図って感じかね。
見つけてみろって？
She regards the scrap of paper dubiously. My actual intentions aside, I'm honestly pretty fired up by this challenge. I'm gonna solve this thing, confront whoever wrote the note, and knock them down a peg or two. I can't wait.
とりあえず台本探しに出向くとしようぜ。
I mean, that's what we're doing. I mean, first things first, it's kind of like literally the only thing we're doing, so only thing first! Without waiting for the others, we proceed to the main school entrance.
ここに台本が隠されているっていうの？
探してるものとは違うが、目立つのはこの階段なんだよな。
I wheel my chair closer so I can inspect the stairs properly.
何をしているのか教えてくれてもいいんじゃないの？
メモ帳にあった聖ヨゼフだけどな。
I go behind the staircase and look up, but there's nothing to see. I address my amitié partner, who's gazing at me with her usual look of irritation.
聖ヨゼフと聞いてひらめいたのが階段なんだよ。
Really? That's what comes to mind? You are an eccentric.
階段？成人なのに
Yes, a flight of stairs. Yes, that's it. Knocked it out of the park, Chidori.
違う。聖ヨゼフの階段という奇跡の階段があるんだよ。支柱を作らずにぐにゃぐにゃととぐろを巻いたような階段がさ。
へえ、そんなものが。さすが処置ね。
She She sounds unusually impressed, so I go on to explain it in more detail.
聖ヨゼフの階段はアメリカのサンタフェにあるロレットチャペルという修道院に実在する螺旋階段なんだ。
So you think something like that? We have something like that
内側に
here?
も外側にも支柱がなく、どうやって螺旋階段が存在できているか未だにわからない。
It's the power of God. God did that. God gave you that staircase.
それを知っていたからここへ来たってわけね。
学院で一番見事な階段はここだからな。
They're such cool stairs. Understanding why it is we're here, Takasaki joins me in looking for clues to the whereabouts of the scripts, but we've come up empty-handed.
落書きもないな。
ひねらずに本を隠すなら本なのじゃないかしら。
Takasaki suggests we go check out the library, and I head along with her. I peruse all the volumes on St. Joseph, and also look around to see if there are any paintings or statues based on his image, but
台本も手がかりも見つからなかったわね。
well, shit.
労を多くして功少なしってやつか。ま、すぐに見つかるとは思ってないよ。
But we knocked out some. We knocked out some. We knocked out some possible results on the first day. You know, we gave it the old college try. You're not gonna turn up every good bit of evidence on day one of an investigation. Takasaki responds dryly, perhaps seeing through my false bravado.
一つ質問いいかしら。
Go for it. She stretches.
そもそも聖ヨゼフって何をした人なの？宣教師とか？
I find myself overcome with fatigue when I hear my Amitié partner's question.
少し前に授業でやっただろうが、聖母マリアの夫の聖ヨゼフだよ。キリストの養父だ。
そうなの？マリアって処女除隊したのだから夫はいないと思っていたわ。
It's true that you often see sculptures and paintings of the Virgin Mary cradling the baby Jesus by herself. While he was part of the family, I suppose it's only natural that people don't know as much about Saint Joseph considering how few depictions you see of him.
高名であるが見かけない。
I come to a stop, feeling something nudge at the corner of my mind. I sort through the pieces of the puzzle in my brain, convinced I must be missing something when...
もういいんじゃないかしら。
Takasaki murmurs something to me, lit by the light of the setting sun.
何がもういいんだよ。
台本探しをすることがよ。本番まであと3日。確かに朗読譜がないのは痛いけれど、白羽さんの台本を複製して進めた方がいいわ。
ダメだな。
自分に自信がないわけ？
え？
そうじゃない。だが、台本探しは続ける。
Her jade eyes gaze deeply into mine as though she's trying to see through what's going on behind them, to my true intentions.
犯人を見つけて弱みを握ることが本意とは思えない。あなたはこの朗読劇を失敗させたくないと思っている。そうでしょ？
Like, been trying to find some kind of special skill this whole chapter and maybe like now going just completely out of her wheelhouse. This is her chance to take an opportunity and swing for the fences, right?
少しは人の心がわかるようになってきたじゃないか。
There you go.
なら、
だが断る。あの台本じゃなきゃダメなんだよ。
Takasaki stands draped in the scarlet of the sunset. Everything about her just like that day we first met. Her demeanor, her irritated gaze.
何を意固地になっているかはわからないけれど、これは対価をもらっていない以上、お遊びと同じ。あなたの言う趣味と同じよ。
Yo, why you being a bitch about it though?
暇つぶしか。違いない。
だったら相応にやればいい。あなたの恥は私の恥だと言ったけれど、今のままなら恥にはならないわ。
I think back to that day when we'd both put forth our beliefs, and I smile my cat-like smile just as I had back then.
私は嫌だ。
Damn. She grimaces momentarily, her almond eyes straining.
そう付き合いきれないわ
Damn.
勝手にすれ
You
ばいい
just done, huh? You just checking out? You bouncing after one day? Her cold gaze and tone of voice linger with me even after her footsteps have disappeared. And that is gonna be where we call it for now. So, well. The case of the misplaced scripts, ow, is now, ow! My knee just locked for a second. Not that anybody could see it, but I went to move my leg and then my knee tried to lock up. Ow! God damn! That hurt like a son of a bitch. Anyway, so yeah, I guess we're gonna be solving the case of the misplaced scripts by poor Erika's lonesome. Not sure what the bug that got up Chidori's butt was, but maybe something more going on here than we know. But we will hopefully figure all that out next time we are together. So thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever. Bye.